for sure. You never ever sound dumb. Can you hear me, Oliver?
I got you. Now I got you. Yeah.
Okay, good. Might be loud behind you there. Um, no, you are spot on. And in terms of the equity markets here, yeah, the Nasdaq's taken a little bit of the brunt of the selling here, but you're right. This is still a marketplace until we see differently. This is still a marketplace that is fairly on track to move higher here. I'm not worried about a big sell off whatsoever. And then in terms of gold, we've talked about this a lot over the last 6, 9, 12 months. Gold has been a buy the dip. You have to follow that trend. We're still in that trend, even though we got a nice rally today and GLD is up, $3 or so today. That is still a nice rally. There's more to go here. It doesn't mean that it's going to go up, just vertically, right? Or we're always on that stair step approach. It doesn't need to be a binary move, but it is absolutely still a buy the dip.
It's just gold. It seems hard to lose, Scott. It's like no matter what regime we get, it at least hangs on. It's like your downside seems like part of me. I'll be honest. Part of me feels like a lot of people they could have a very simple approach to the market right now, which would basically be gold and like Bitcoin or something else high beta risk because that juicy stuff, high beta, when it goes up, is killing it. And then gold seems to go along for the ride and doesn't ever really go down that much. So, like, I know that's kind of a crazy thought, but like the gold Bitcoin portfolio, do you hate it?
No, I really don't. And if people are looking for excess alpha, right? They really want immediate results. Okay, maybe crypto Bitcoin is the way to go, but you're going to see fluctuations in the marketplace a lot more than what we have seen in gold. And again, regardless of what we have seen over the last weeks, months, pretty much since Liberation Day, let's even call it here, gold has been probably the steadiest of any asset class out there. It has recovered on every pullback and every pullback pretty immediately. So again, until that trend changes, and I don't see any fundamental reason why it would, because the reason why people have been buying gold and central banks have been buying gold over the last 12 months or so, that hasn't changed. So fundamentally, the story for gold has not changed.
Yeah, I feel you. I'm on board with that. It also seems like it kind of relates to the bond thing being stuck.
Yeah.
Let's go back into Trader Oasis here. I'm going to pull up Nvidia. I feel like any conversation about the market, I think this ranks above Jackson Hole, Scott. But I don't know. That could be certainly a point of contention or debate.
It absolutely is. Jackson Hole, everybody is really on top of it. Can't wait for Friday. I'm included in that. But by Saturday, or at least by Monday next week, that's going to be behind us, and the market will kind of reset to whatever they believe the commentary was from Powell on Friday. Anticipation video, and we say this often during pretty much every earnings cycle. There is a group, whether it's Apple in the past or Alphabet, whatever it is, that boy, we got to watch that one to give us an indication. But with all of the news coming out that maybe the AI trade is overcooked, tech is on its heels a little bit now. There's probably not a time that I can remember that we're going to see an earnings report as important as what NVIDIA says. And it's going to be really about what they say about guidance moving forward.
Absolutely agree. It's, here's the thing though. I got to be honest, Scott. I mean, you saw the show yesterday. This could not be done without AI. Well, it
Yeah,
could
for
be
sure.
done, but it wouldn't be as good. Graphics,
Yeah.
sheets, getting this up off the ground in the time we did in a high traffic place like this requires you to use everything to your advantage. And so that's where I've kind of become radicalized a little bit here in the last couple months. I've been calling it the everyday trade. You trade things that you know that you use every day. I am using AI every day.
No, there's no doubt about that. And just to your point there, you're using it for your application. Just think of the other people, other businesses, major international corporations that are benefiting from the use of AI. And I still think that we are in the very, very beginning stages. And the AI trade may be cooling off a little bit here, but again, and there we go. There's the closing bell.
There it is.
That's the ebb and flow of the marketplace. It's a stair step approach here. So, are some of the extreme valuations that we've seen over the last several months, some of those that have really gotten hit? That's probably a good thing in the market for that to reset as well. So Nvidia really is a focal point here, and couldn't come at a more important time, Oliver, with this quarter's earnings winding down, with interest rates right around the corner, with tariffs again, still front and center here, and obviously all the geopolitical risks that may be out there. So the market at this point really needs something to be very positive about. Again, I'm not saying that I'm expecting any sort of big drawdown, but the market needs that next accelerant. It needs that next, kick in the behind to say, all right, we're going to rally at the year end.
Needs a pep in its step. But hey, we closed out okay here today. Definitely could have been a worse session. I know that we kind of slipped a little into the final moment there, but still, we hit 6,400 right before we dropped 10 points at the end. So we got back to the open price for the session, which is not bad.
SPY to be down, a quarter of 1% when 2-3 hours ago we were looking at, oh man, maybe we're going to see another 100-point down day or so. And there's a reflection in the marketplace, and especially with the traders behind you and the traders in the VIX pit over there, there's a reflection that it's still kind of a Teflon market. And I say that because we're not seeing volatility really move. Sure, the VIX was up, 16 handle today at some point, but that's really nothing. Now, that being said, and I think I pinged you about this earlier today, for the first time in a while, maybe some of the retail or institutional trades coming out of the woodwork, there was a lot of far out of the money call buying in the VIX today, out in November, not September, October, out in November. So, is that just because vol and the vol of the VIX, the V-vol is so low and people are buying some time? It could be, but it's been a while since we've seen buyers coming in of 75 and 100 strike call options in the VIX.
Wow, way out there.
Yep.
Yeah. Good eyes. We will see you tomorrow, Mr. Bauer. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.